Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Hello and welcome back. Another BoshNRoll video, another day, another Shark Typhoon. So, as you can see, today I'm playing Legacy, and this is my regularly scheduled Shark Typhoon update. It's been about 2.5 weeks since I released a Shark Typhoon video. Figured that's what people want out of me, so I'm gonna. This is my most recent update. So, we started with Shark Still for the full history here. We started with Shark, Typhoon, and Standstill. Then the courts were printed, Court of Cunning and Grace, and I tried Shark Courts. Then I updated the Shark Court deck on Patreon, but I never actually played it on the YouTube channel. Then I had a donation deck. Somebody wanted to see if the Shark shell could work with the Courts and Standstill together. And where that left off, that was the last one I posted. That one left off, I determined that when you're a standstill deck, you don't want to be drawing creature removal. And when you're the monarch, you don't want to be drawing standstill. So there was a lot of disjointed decision making there. Like the deck wasn't quite sure what it wanted to do. So now I'm back. This is just purely courts. I do think the courts are better than standstill, but the shark package is still here. That's Shark Typhoon. You cycle it, you make a shark, you draw a card, you put it back on top of your deck with Hall of Heliod's Generosity, and you do it forever. Infinite sharks, drawing lots of cards, an unstoppable flying army that also protects your monarchy. It's a flash threat that can get it back if you lose it. So, other things that I'm trying. The original build of this deck was straight blue-white, but Oko was a huge problem, so I splashed red for the red blasts, and then Hull Breacher was something that came up in my donation deck list, the standstill one, where I'm not sure if Hull Breacher belongs in a moat deck. Like, that's kind of a non-boat, but Hull Breacher is just such a powerful card on its own. It's also a flash threat that can help retake the Monarchy. It's also a card that, if it's in play, you don't really care if you lose the Monarchy. Like, rather than your opponent draw a card every turn, you get a treasure every turn. I mean, that's still worse than drawing a card, but at least you're not getting buried. Brazen Borrower I added to the deck because quick creatures like Delver were a problem, so generic answer to a permanent also bounces Merit Lage, which is another thing. Then after it bounces something, it comes back from its adventure as a flash threat to help contest the Monarchy. Then on top of that, just a shitload of removal. I got the 4 Plows plus the bonus path, 3 Supreme Verdict right in the main deck, some counter spells to deal with what the removal won't, and then I have 1 Replenish still hanging out in the deck to bring back the courts, the sharks, and the moats in the late game. This is just sort of a late game banger if we need it. It can be boarded out. Might not need it at all. I don't know. I like having it. But this card is on watch, and Hull Breacher is on watch. Those are my 3 slots that I'm not super sold on just yet. Also, I'm not sure that we need 2 moats in the main, but that's where I'm starting. So let's go become the king and keep it. On the play here in round 1, I'm going to keep his hand. It has Island and Ponder in it. You know how I do. In all seriousness, though, Ponder will help hit these land drops, and then once I find the 3rd land, Hull Breacher becomes a serious thing that affects a lot of matchups. Alright, so I found the 3rd land, and Plow and Brainstorm. I'm going to leave the Brainstorm on top with the Plow under it. I don't know if I'm going to need Swords of Plowshares yet. That's one of the more dramatically useful cards. It's either usually either like a 10 or a 1, depending on the matchup. So I know I'm drawing a land next. I don't need to Brainstorm yet. I like all these cards. So I'm just going to pass. If my opponent gives me a reason to Plow or Brainstorm, I can just do that. Ooh. Is this some sort of mirror? a basic plains I do see with mine eyes. Alright, I don't really care about Meddling Mage. Okay, so this is probably Esper Vial. Lightning Bolt. Good call. I don't play that card. It's a reasonable choice, though. Like, they don't know what I'm up to over here. I can take 2 damage. Like, that's not a big deal. I want to see what else they produce. Baleful Strix. I will respond to this trigger with my Hull Breacher and hope that they don't have their Swords to Plowshares ready. Nice. Treasure, money in the bank. Alright, Moat is a solid magic card. Alright, finding the land there was clutch. I actually am not sure that I want Moat for this matchup, though maybe I do. Brazen Borrower is medium. Supreme Verdict is like 10 out of 10. Alright, I'm going to put back Brazen Borrower and Moat. With the double Supreme Verdict and Swords to Plowshares, I don't think I'm going to need this that Moat anytime soon. Alright, so I can ambush the Meddling Mage with a 2/2 Shark and just trade off and get a card there. I think that's fine. Or I can just let them play out all their shit and Wrath it. I'm going to get a basic Plains with this. They are a Wasteland deck, and keeping double white available is really important in this matchup. Shark Typhoon. Yeah, there's the court. So now that I have drawn court, I'm not going to block. Because I want to contest this board wherever I can. So they might reset Meddling Mage, or they might scry too. Alright, they're going to reset Meddling Mage. Probably name Swords to Plowshares on the way back in. Just change their removal spell of choice. If they don't name Plow, I'll jam Court. If they do name Plow, I might need to Wrath first. If they name Supreme Verdict, that's actually kind of great. Because then I can Plow the Meddling Mage, unlock the Supreme Verdict, and cast the Court. Alright, yeah, they just named Plow. No surprise there. So, how can I sequence this optimally? I have Hull Breacher, so I don't mind if they take the Monarchy for a turn. Like, if I become the Monarch, I'm going to Brainstorm first and see what that yields. A third Supreme Verdict. Oh, Brazen Borrower is a huge deal. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Shark. So I can tuck this Plow and Supreme Verdict away. So I'm going to draw most of these anyway. Yeah, I am just going to become the Monarch here. I'm going to force some bad attacks out of them. They have to attack with everything if they want to take the Monarch. And in that case, I'll just like let them have it and then take it back and Wrath. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Force of Will. Okay. Pitching Baleful Strix. Sure. That's fine. Okay, so now they don't really have good attacks. Like I'm pretty happy to trade off my Shark for Meddling Mage at this point. Guess I'll trade my shark off for basically anything. And a draw go game favors me. I stacked that wrong. I was counting on the draw getting me Swords to Plowshares, but it doesn't really matter. I probably want to Brazen Borrow Aether Vial in their end step. Oh, the second one might change that math a little. Okay, they just want to attack. Alright, I'll make a 3-3. Eat all the attackers. Now what? Swords of Plowshares on Hull Breacher, sure. They have one card in hand. That makes Aether Vial a lot worse when I don't have to respect like a million things. Teferi was a good draw. I can bounce this Aether Vial on 2. Yeah, they just didn't have anything. Then I can plow this Baleful Strix. Or I could just attack. Like saving the plow, though I have 3 Supreme Verdicts in my hand. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. I'll offer the trade. Save my plow. Ooh. Okay, yeah, they want to contest the Teferi. That makes sense. Alright, yep. 1-for-1 trades all day here. Then once Teferi starts plussing with triple Supreme Verdict, I'm not sure how I lose anymore. And I can just Brazen Borrower to double the clock. Yeah, this attack puts them to 12. Brazen Borrow makes it a 2-turn clock. I think bouncing Aether Vial before they drew for the turn is a better play. I just didn't do it. Alright, so bounce Aether Vial, cast Brazen Borrower. Alright, yeah, they just concede to that. 2-turn clock, too fast. Alright. My main deck is extremely well suited to beating creature decks, so I'm glad that was as lopsided as I would expect. So things I can consider now, Pyroblast is pretty close to Swords to Plowshares in this matchup. Most of their creatures are blue, or at least many of them are blue. I don't want to go too heavy on that though. I do like all of the plows and paths. Diversifying answers to Meddling Mage is good though, because if I count on Swords to Plowshares too much and they Meddling Mage it, then that's bad, of course. Stony Silence, turning off all their Aether Vials, pretty nice. Seal of Cleansing versus Stony Silence. Like, do they have any other artifacts and enchantments I would want to answer? They might have like Rest in Peace for my sharks. So I think I want Seal of Cleansing more than I want Stony Silence. Force of Negation has come out. So one card out. I'm not bringing in all of these red blasts, but I do want some number of them. So 1, 2, and I only have 1 red source in the deck, which is why this Basic Mountain is here. The Basic Mountain is for decks where you want Pyroblast and they have Wasteland, which kind of describes this deck. But I'm not sure if it describes it enough that I'd want to bring in the mountain. Okay, I do still have my Crucible, which I think is good here. Brazen Borrower is fine. I like the moat. I like all the only cards left I'd want to cut are either Replenish or Force of Will. And I'm not convinced necessarily that the second Red Blast is better than the existing number of those cards. Containment Priest actually is also a flash threat that messes with Aether Vial. Alright, so I'm gonna go a little thinner over there on that, on Force of Will. I do like Containment Priest. Okay. This is a presentable deck. Island Ponder, baby. I can force an Aether Vial with this hand too, so that's a big step in this matchup. Alright, now I don't even have to ponder. Though if I ponder now, I can try to set up the turn 3 Court of Cunning, so I probably should just ponder. Yeah, if this ponder finds the third land, then I can end step Priest, untap. Oh wow, another force. I want the island. I don't know if I want the other force. Okay, so now I can curve Swords to Plowshares or Containment Priest into Court of Cunning. And I can Force a Will something this turn. I would pitch Shark, or I would probably pitch Supreme Verdict actually. Though it's kind of close between Shark Typhoon and Supreme Verdict, which one the actual pitch is. I think knowing I'm drawing Plow, I'll let them have Baleful Strix, and then I can Plow the Strix and force whatever else they do next turn. I'm just going to fetch now in case they do something weird. I don't know if they have Aven Mind Sensor or Opposition Agent or whatever, but I'm just going to fetch right now, so it's not a problem. Brainstorm, all right, get that in before my Hull Breacher. Fair enough. All right, land. All right, so let's see if this all mapped out correctly. I think I pitched Shark Typhoon, not Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I'm going to pitch Typhoon. All right, so the only reason I would be this aggressive about clearing out all their creatures is if I'm jamming a court, which is exactly what's happening. All right, so now I have Teferi and Supreme Verdict on follow-up duty. I don't think they play any haste creatures. They could have some Monarch creature of their own. They could have Hull Breacher. Containment Priest is a flash threat. Teferi can bounce most things. Recruiter of the Guard, not super exciting, because Teferi doesn't want to bounce that. Getting Palace Jailer, okay. That's a way to reclaim the monarchy. I'm going to mill them and not me. Even though I have Replenish. Alright, so Hull Breacher confirmed. They are playing the card. They have Soul Herder also. I'm going to Brainstorm. Alright, Hull Breacher, very nice draw here. Moat. Am I working to a point where I'm going to moat anybody? So, moat is a big deal. Supreme Verdict is probably a bigger deal. I don't get Containment Priest and Moat. That's definitely a one or the other situation. So I'm going to put back Containment Priest because now I have Hull Breacher to occupy that space. And I guess I'll put back one of the lands. And I want to shuffle before I draw because I don't actually want any of those cards. All right, so they can, they actually did this really well because they can attack and then just become the Monarch. Yeah, I may have fucked this up a little bit. Let's see, do they have the Plow? Okay. All right, well, they were going to be the Monarch anyway with Palace Jailer. So now I gotta figure out how to beat this deck. Hopefully Moat is good enough. What's all this? Soul Herder. Okay, that's troublesome. I'm definitely gonna have to Supreme Verdict to break this up. Trying to be the Monarch against a deck full of tricky creatures might just be a mistake in general. I'll buy that line. Skyclave Apparition. All right, that answers Moat. I'll just keep milling them. Maybe I can make them dead. So Supreme Verdict can clear this out. Yeah, I think that's better than trying to get tricky with Teferi. Like just kill these shits. So this is the sort of game you have to figure out if you can win. Like this is what the deck building puzzle I'm working on right now is. It's how devastating is it to lose the Monarch, and what can we do to get it back? So let's see how good Moat's gonna be. Oh, Shark Typhoon is better than Moat. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a Shark in their end step. Or I should have played Teferi. I fucked that up. Yeah, if I Teferi, bounce this, I get a 3/3 creature. Then they can replay Apparition to take Teferi, but I'm contesting them with a 3/3. Okay, yeah, I messed that up a little bit. I'm gonna have to hope the Shark is good enough now. Did not sequence correctly. Swords to Plowshares, I think, is the thing that really fucks me up here. Savine's Reclamation targeting Recruiter of the Guard. Okay. I would like them to make these sorts of decisions before they know that I have a Shark. And I couldn't Shark it in combat because Palace Jailer would just exile my Shark and take the Monarch back right away. Alright, might as well go big here. 3/3 Shark. Gain as much life as possible off that. Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, there it is. Alright. Yep, fuck that up. If I started with Teferi, it would have been better. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 mana. Not enough for both of the things I want to do. Oh, Teferi, let's go. Do you have a Force of Will? Drawn a lot of cards. Wouldn't be surprised if they did have Force of Will. Okay, so bounce that. I get a 3/3. Path to Exile was a good draw. So this Brazen Borrower is a flying threat. Path to Exile can clear the way. It's crazy how close this game has remained despite them drawing so many extra cards with their Recruiter, their Soul Herder, the Monarch. So this is gonna... Oh, that's Skyclave Apparition. I would have thought they lead on Palace Jailer, but okay. Allowed. Charming Prince. So it's just gonna bounce Recruiter. Yep. Man, Containment Priest is good against this deck. So I want to let the Recruiter come back, let them draw their card with Monarch, then play Brazen Borrower. 1, 2... Only 2 Swords to Plowshares are accounted for so far. Yeah, they haven't exiled anything. Alright, so I guess actually I probably shouldn't have fetched there. I should have thought a little more. If I Brazen Borrower to Petty Theft the Skyclave Apparition, Then if they counter this or interact with it in some way, I can path to exile the Skyclave Apparition, and I still end up with 2 3/3s in play to attack with. And if they don't interact with this, I can path one of their blockers. All right, so I have 2 3/3s that to pressure the board. Shark Typhoon is solid follow-up. So now they decide if they want to keep their Recruiter in play or let me be the Monarch. Or they can have Swords to Plowshares. Number 3. Or was that number 4? Number 3? I don't know. It's pretty good regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Shark Typhoon is going to be the play here. I got a little Teferi your own. Bummer. All right, that's covered. So 3 plows accounted for, and they're 3/4 of the way through the deck. They're directly on expectation for Swords to Plowshares at this point. Basically, the only thing they have to worry about is Shark Typhoon. And Recruiter of the Guard, still leaving 1 white up. You hate to see it. Though I do think we're in the reasonable range of decking them with the Monarch. Like, Supreme Verdict and Moat can waste so much time. All right, going for Maximum Shark because I can't cast instants anyway. Oh. Didn't plow me yet. Alright, so if I can attack them, I get the Monarch back. And then I can moat. If they have Force of Will, this is a good target for it. Alright, they didn't force. I can't cast instants anyway, so I might as well run out the Seal of Cleansing now. Because I know they have a Baleful Strix, which is one of their only flying creatures, and they're about to cast Palace Jailer to exile my Shark. So, second moat, you love it. Okay, so I think decking them with the Monarch is actually my game plan. Like, between Moat and Supreme Verdict, they only have 12 cards left. They're going to aggressively take the Monarchy. All right, yeah, they take the Moat. Good thing I have the second. All right, Palace Jailer. Exile my Shark. They were the Monarch anyway, but now they're going to take it back. All right, so there's the Jailer and the Apparition. This is a great time for Supreme Verdict. Do I want to Brainstorm first? Yeah, Wasteland's not super helpful here. We have seen they have some number of Hull Breacher in their deck, so I should probably Brainstorm while I can. Court of Grace, hello. Alright, maybe I'll hide Brainstorm and Court of Grace on top. I mean, the extra land drop doesn't hurt, so I'll just play it. Clear the shit out. I get a 4/4. They have 10 cards left in their deck. Flicker Wisp, alright, that's pretty good. It's also a flying creature. This is probably the Meddling Mage, okay. So they're going to name Supreme Verdict with this. And another meddling mage. Are they going to name Moat or Plow? Maybe Terminus for good measure. Plow. All right. And Teferi's back in bounce levels. Nine cards left in their deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 mana short of doing Moat and Court. So this. I'll go for a pressure relief turn. All right, force, fair enough. All right, didn't have time to relieve the pressure. But I think Moat's a more important card to resolve than Teferi. Though not anymore, now that their Teferi is there. All right, I have lost this game. I'm not going to be able to get through all their shit. Yeah, that Force of Will was a clutch one. I was going to bounce the Meddling Mage on Plow, then Plow the Flicker Wisp, and just take a bunch of pressure off. Savine's Reclamation, getting back Soul Herder, and what? What's the plan? And another Soul Herder. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Or maybe more. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely dead on board. I'm just going to have them click through all their triggers because I think the clock's going to matter a lot going into game 3 here. Just going to enjoy my F6ing while they navigate all this. But yeah, these Soul Herders are going to be super lethal. The Flicker Wisp can exile another thing. Surprise, second Moat. Just make you deal with it. I'm a little surprised. I guess I'm not that surprised. That Flicker Wisp. Yeah, it was lethal attack anyway. Like if Flicker was exiled a creature, the Soul Herders would have gotten even bigger, but that doesn't matter. Already super lethal. All right, I'm 53 seconds up on the clock going into game 3. So Savine's Reclamation was pretty good in the late game, but I don't think that's something I'm gonna want to actually respect with Graveyard Hate. Back to Basics might be something I'm interested in. These games go long. They do have a lot of cards, a lot of lands, and not very many of them are basic. That game mostly came down to the fact that I was unable to protect my Monarch. They pressured it really well. I built a. I had 1 layer of protection for my Monarch, and I needed 2 or 3 on the turn I went for it. So I think if I was just a little more patient and let them deploy into a Supreme Verdict first, that would have been better off. So I don't think Crucible of Worlds is important in this matchup, though it's there to get back Hall if they Wasteland in Wasteland matchups, but Hall doesn't work under Back to Basics. All right, never mind, I'm off Back to Basics. So now I've seen Soul Herder and Hall Breacher, so I think these Pyroblasts are looking better and better. Gotta find room for this basic mountain now. I do think Replenish is great. Like, this will be very good at some point. I'm gonna diversify Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast just because we know they're a Meddling Mage deck. Seal of Cleansing, Baleful Strix, and Aether Vial are known targets. I didn't see an Aether Vial that game. Did I mill one? They might board them out in matchups like this where every card matters. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of Seal of Cleansing. Yeah, this looks fine. All right. Oh, also they showed me Teferi. That's another reason to want Pyroblast. I'll keep Highland Ponder. You know it. All right, another land, Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I want all this. So my plan, I hope they don't have a 1-drop or Aether Vial, because I hope to Swords to Plowshares into Court of Cunning. That's my dream. I think I should Ponder. Containment Priest, pretty good. She has shown that she will be good against multiple parts of their deck. Flickerwisp, Charming Prince, the Soul Herder. So if they Meddling Mage on Plow right here, that's pretty solid. Basically anything else I'm fine with. So this is an aggressive Swords to Plowshares, but it is what I have available to me. I want to start testing their answers immediately with Court of Cunning. The second Plow is nice. I am going to fetch the second Tundra here, because I want to make sure I have white, and I'm not just taken off a color by one Wasteland. All right, they had the Force, okay. So that's the first test. The Force pitching Brainstorm, that's a pretty solid Hymn to Turok in this matchup where every card's going to matter. All right, Soul Herder. I can hopefully snipe something with Containment Priest. Ooh, I can Swords to Plowshares and put Court of Cunning back on top of my deck, if that turns out to be something I want to do. I think it's more likely I play Containment Priest and Swords to Plowshares this turn, though. Didn't attack. Respect the shark. All right, put Court on top. Actually, I should see if this Plow resolves first, and then I can decide if I actually want that Court. I love that it sees itself. Exile. All right, regrow my Court. Then colorless blue, blue. I don't think they showed me. Oh, Hull Breacher. They do have Hull Breacher. Okay, that's a flash threat I need to worry about. All right, didn't have it. And Brazen Borrower plus Containment Priest. I now have 2 instant speed interactions. Not bad. Hall of Heliod, by the way. MVP. All right, so there's no chance they name Petty Theft or Containment Priest with this card. Just 0%. Right, so I'm gonna. This is probably Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, that's fine. The important part has already happened, and now I can bounce that and get a 3/3. But I want to save that for a combat step later. I'll just flash that in now. Crucible. That is not as good as Moat. But if I Moat, if their last 2 cards are Force Blue card or just Flickerwisp, I lose. I actually do want to get this Crucible in right now, because Petty Theft is the most likely spell I'm going to cast. Alright, I did just let them untap into Force mana. Let's see if that punishes me. Apparition. Taking my Priest. Okay. So now they attack. Alright. All in. Alright, they didn't have the force. They could still have plow to take the monarch. Oh, didn't have it. Had nothing. Nice. That was great. Okay, so what do they got left here? Soul Herder. Okay, so they can blink their thing, but I end up with a 2/2 and they can take my Crucible? Is that even something you want to do? I guess. Okay. Alright, I have a 2/2 now. So I think I want to attack with both of my creatures and then jam Moat. Maybe I don't jam because it doesn't matter. This is pretty aggressive. I guess they can't force me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that red blast is nice. Another Skyclave apparition, alright. I'm gonna blast Soul Herder. So now we can at least like tit for tat the monarchy back and forth instead of me just losing it forever. And if they block, I get a 4/4. And if they don't block, I get the monarch. This is fun. That was exactly the card I wanted. So now I can make the endless stream of sharks. They must have plow or else you just don't even block here. Yep, okay. So I end up with a 4/4 and they get to keep the monarch. Definitely playing out my land here. They see the Brazen Borrower, they don't see the Shark Typhoon, so I can produce 2 flash threats. Flying flash threats. Meddling Mage, oh, they're going to name Brazen Borrower. I should have responded. But that's also fine, like if they name Brazen Borrower instead of like Supreme Verdict or Swords of Plowshares or some like actually important card. Alright, you can draw your card. Or I guess I should have cycled first, because if they draw Hull Breacher, now they can steal my draw. So that might not have been optimal. Okay, so I can make a 3/3 shark and still put the Typhoon on top. Alright, they didn't have Hull Breacher. I'm in luck. Let's see if they can beat this engine. If they can protect the Monarch for another turn, they might be able to overcome this. But them maintaining the Monarchy is the only way they're gonna beat this. So I should attack with, I think, both creatures. Like, their life total is also a resource here. Alright, so I want to fetch. And then I think I should make a 3/3 shark right now. Yeah, that blocks effectively, and it leaves up any of my 1-mana spells, my Pyroblast or Swords of Plowshares. I could ponder into either. I would also jam Supreme Verdict right now if I draw it. So Supreme Verdict mana is up. Alright, Pyroblast, great draw. That can kill the Meddling Mage, which frees the Brazen Borrower. It can pick off a Hull Breacher, but I think it's pretty clear at this point they don't have that. Alright, yep, they're dead. Can't get through it. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Next round. All right, I'm on the draw here. This hand has Force of Will, Cantrip, Land. I'm going to keep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I recognized VCF's name as like an actual Moto grinder, so I should put them on Delver, and confirmed they are that. So now I have to work my way through this Delver. I guess I should fetch to play around Stifle at least. My deck is built to beat up on creature decks, however, this particular hand is in a little bit of trouble for that. If this is Dreadhorde Arcanist, I will force it. Alright, it's not, it's Preordain. Alright, top, so that Delver's gonna flip for sure. Land. Nice, alright. Found the land. So I can Brazen Borrow the Delver in the upkeep. Like, I'll let it flip, I'll get the information, and then I'll Petty Theft it. That plays into days and stuff, but that's fine if I make them days on their own upkeep. Like, I want them to interact with stuff like that instead of my Brainstorm that is in the process of working up to Supreme Verdict. Just try to get this out of here. Alright, that worked. Pressure's off for now. Let's see if they jam Oko. Looks like it. I'm going to pitch the Court because that is not going to be a card that's going to be good this game. Yeah, force back, so they have Oko now. Their force pitched Preordain. Moat is in the deck partially out of respect for Oko, like just in answer to a string of Elks. That's what it's for. This needs to hit some lands. It needs to resolve and it needs to hit some lands. Alright, it did both. Supreme Verdict is something I want. I think the Crucible might be a little bit of a dream here. And Shark Typhoon is not going to matter until later. So I'll play that. So I know that they have Delver in hand. Let's see if they want to extend it into a Supreme Verdict. Like, if they go Delver, Dreadhorde Arcanist, make an Elk, that would be an absolute wet dream. I am in the danger zone that I have to fetch Tundra to cast the spells in my hand with this Scalding Tarn, and I'm in a spot where that is extremely punishing to be taken off double white. Alright, Delver. I hope they don't have Stifle. Alright, they didn't have Stifle. That's the first hurdle jumped. Let's buy a little breathing room. Yeah, the Crucible is really powerful in matchups like this, but at the same time, I just don't think I would have time to deploy it now. Like, I need to get control of this board before I think about like how I'm going to squeeze the life out of them. Like, I need to keep the life inside of me first. That is the life maintenance hierarchy. They've already forced once. They did not shuffle. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, Force of Will Buster on my deck right now. Well, So I could ponder looking for a plow or some answer to this Dreadhorde Arcanus, because Moat is like the big hammer. But there's no guarantee that I'll get to... All of my plows and path are still in my deck, right? Yes, okay. I will ponder then. Also, if ponder misses on plow or path but finds a land, then I'm in the same spot I was a second ago. And there's Brazen Borrower that can buy me a turn, but that's not what I want. I'm going to shuffle this. Alright. I mean, here it is. Daze and Force are all bad. I hope it's Force if they have an answer, like Daze being such a clean little sweet answer. At least give me the 2 for 1. Fuck. Okay. But next turn I can make a 3/3 Shark, which eats Dreadhorde Arcanist. Dreadhorde Arcanist will have cast 2 spells by then. Alright, and they have Wasteland, so now I don't even have that. I did maintain my double white though, so Supreme Verdict is a live draw. Another Moat is a live draw. We know one of the cards in hand is Volcanic Island. So I definitely don't want to jam Court of Grace in this spot, like obviously. Alright, Swords of Plowshares. I've drawn worse cards than that. So I'm going to cast this in their upkeep to play around Force of Negation. Alright, so that card advantage engine is off. I'll chump this food with a shark this turn. If they like bolt the shark to get the food through, that's the same as if they just bolt my face. God, Oko is such a magic card. Yep, that's a block. It's another Arcanist. Young Pyromancer, alright. So replenish off the top. I'll take a Moat. Alright, all in again. Oh, it got in. Wow. Nobody expects the second Moat. That Wasteland showed up a little too late. Let's hope this Moat can carry. Like, I think they need, like, Delver or Lightning Bolts to win the game at this point. They generally don't play a main deck out to Moat, other than killing me. So if I draw a land and cast Court of Grace here, I'm actually going to cycle this now to try to hit my land drop. Okay. So setting up Court of Grace next turn. I did that now, because now if I draw another land next turn, I can play around Daze with my Court. Now I just need to shove crap onto the stack until something sticks. Oh shit. That was smart. They just traded my creature that can attack for their creature that can't. Now I can't jam Court of Grace. Well played, opponent. I can cycle 2/2 Shark though. Or I guess I would want to cycle a 1/1 Shark and just trade. So they can't trade for the 2/2 Shark the next turn. So it's kind of funny that they're incentivized to Lightning Bolt this 1/1 Shark. Like the question is now, like, do they think they can get up to 3 Lightning Bolts to kill me before the Shark does enough damage? Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna be really patient here. Oh, now Supreme Verdict makes this easy. I was going to say I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to Path to Exile this Shark right now. I'll just play straight into Daze and Spell Pierce and every counterspell that exists. I'm going to take my sweet time. Alright, so I can save that to play around a Daze. Let's see, do you have Stifle? I can leave up white mana for Path here, or I could just Wasteland them. I don't think wasting them matters, though. Alright, let's clean that out. And next turn I can play Court of Grace. Alright, yeah, they're just gaining life now. Whoa, I do not want to concede the game. I was just trying to turn off my yields. I almost scooped. That would have been among the most savage misclicks that's ever existed. Alright, they topped a card. They probably topped this Ponder to keep digging. They've used 2 Wastelands already. Chose to shuffle. Alright, there's a Wasteland. Alright, now Daze is off. Or Daze is on, which means Court of Grace is off. Okay, I will take this island. Yeah, whatever. I'll challenge them on the mana front also. So I'm playing Teferi next turn. I don't want them to be able to hardcast a Force of Negation. If Teferi resolves, that will guarantee that Court of Grace resolves on the following turn. If Teferi doesn't resolve, that's 1 less counterspell to fight over Court of Grace. Alright, Force pitching Daze. So they did have Daze. Imagine that. This moat is an absolute monster. Alright, I mean, that's what they're playing to burning me out. So fetch lands are very dangerous at this point, because I can't really go to 3. Alright, let's hope that last card isn't a Daze. Alright, we're the Monarch. So now there's the other win con. So I can start making 4/4s. I have Force of Negation to fight over some lightning bolts. This is about the most textbook draw up of this matchup that I could have asked for. They dealt early damage, I answered their board, I locked them out, I became the Monarch and started generating multiple forms of advantage from being the Monarch. And I'm still being threatened by lightning bolts. So like that's basically exactly how I picture this game playing out. I'm not going to play the Court of Cunning yet. I want a little more protection. I guess why? Like, what am I playing for? Like, Force of Negation is great because it doesn't lose life the way Force of Will does. Alright, yeah, okay, so they can elk these infinitely. Alright, so I do actually need to play the Court. Because my moat will keep my creatures from ever attacking also. Alright, so I'm going to build up so I can protect this Court of Cunning. Oh, Replenish, fuck yeah. Maybe Replenish will be my test spell. Or no, I play Court of Cunning. If it resolves, I win. If it doesn't resolve, I replenish and get it back, and then I win. And I can hardcast Force if they go for a burn spell. This is so satisfying. I'm also going to cast Brazen Borrower in the end step. Because that'll at least create something. Like I'll be one flyer ahead of their elk power. Oh, but they can trade for Brazen Borrower. I'm not playing Brazen Borrower. Yeah, that would be terrible. Huge mistake. I think there is one more basic island in my deck. I'm just going to cast Court. Forget about Force of Negation. If they counter this, they counter it. If they don't, all right, Force, pitching, Oko, okay. Guess I should play this. Continue gaining life in my end step, that's fine. So I could Path to Exile one of my Elks, get that last island out of my deck, but I want to save that in case they do draw a Delver or a Brazen Borrower. So I only have one Replenish. They've cast 1, 2, 3 forces this game, and they have 3 cards still in hand. Yeah, I think I want to Swords to Plowshare as a 4/4 Angel to gain some breathing room before I start to... Alright. Yeah, just going to keep testing their counter spells. Not going to bounce anything. So Teferi can hang out here. Maybe I should have plus Teferi. Oh wait, I can just replenish right now. What right now while Teferi's in play? I guess I'm in combat. So if I fetch, I'm at 3, and then I'm dead to a lightning bolt. Yeah, I'm not going to leave myself dead to lightning bolt at all. I refuse. It would be the easiest way for me to lose this game, and I'm not going to take the bait. This replenish will return 3 Shark Typhoons to play. I guess I probably just plus Teferi and pass and replenish in their end step. Does that even matter? I don't know. Yeah, just this Oko's on 23. All right, they're thinking in second main, is it time to fire off a couple of bolts? Nope. All right. All right, plus Teferi. All right, that's actually even better. Now we have a win con. It resolves. Don't even need to show them that I play replenish. Really wish I had a Swords to Plowshares to gain 4 life. All right, so I can force a large number of lightning bolts. 1, 2. There's 2 in the graveyard. I assume there's 3 lightning bolts, actual lightning bolts still in the deck. I don't think they're going to have a second chain lightning, but they do have quadruple red, 3 cards in hand. Okay, Delver's fine. I've been planning my whole life to beat this Delver with Path to Exile. I'll just clip that now. Path is not doing anything else, so now I'm gonna mill them out. See you later, your deck. I just milled a lightning bolt, so that's 1 less win condition. Now I can hardcast Force of Will on top of everything else I'm doing. Plus Teferi. And pass. Alright, yep. This game was awesome. Really showcasing the power of the deck. Couldn't have asked for a better one. Moat, the second moat got the game stabilized. This Oko's at 24. The technology paid off. They did everything they were supposed to do, and I just beat it. I'm still not going to show them anything. I'm just going to mill them out. I think they're just trying to recoup some clock at this point because they're way down on clock too. But they spent way more time farting around than I did. I'm not even going to attack. Why would I? So Monarch draw, I'm going to go to discard. Discard Shark Typhoon and Island, I guess. No, Ponder. Okay. They have one card left. All of their lightning bolts are in the graveyard. We did it! Oko on 26, doesn't even matter. Now I get to bring in my Red Blast. They have two basics, so I don't think I really want back to basics. Like, that's not the axis I beat this deck on. I want Flusterstorm to win the important counter wars. Seal of Cleansing for Winter Orb and or Sylvan Library. Dovin's Veto is just an upgrade to some of these other counter spells I have. The forces are pretty medium. That moat was great. Big fan of moat. What else am I cutting here? I don't know that I can afford to go down to one Force of Will. Replenish might be kind of a dream. Like it was poised to be pretty good that game, but then it mostly didn't matter at the end. Court of Cunning is risky. This might not be a Crucible matchup either. Like, I basically have to pick which endgame engine I want in my deck because I don't get all of them against a deck like Rug Delver. Then I'm looking at probably Brazen Borrower as the worst card left in the deck here because the body's mostly irrelevant. The ability is fine. It's like another out to Winter Orb on top of Seal of Cleansing, but I think Hull Breacher would be better, and I want all the ones. I want all the Supreme Verdicts. The moat's good. Court of Grace might be sketch, but I can definitely see games where I just maneuver that into play and win. So this is my plan. Or I guess I could probably cut Caracas, because there's no legends in either of these decks. Yeah, I'm bringing in the Mountain to replace the Caracas, so I do get to keep one more of these cards. Do I want Brazen Borrower or Crucible of Worlds? I think Brazen Borrower. Staying alive is priority number one. So, speaking of Brazen Borrower, remember when that Petty Theft resolved on their Delver early in the game, and it never connected for 3, and then I stabilized it for life? That's what I'm talking about. Those early decisions matter a lot later. I think Vendilion Click might be okay in this matchup too. It's just, I'm out of stuff I want to cut is the problem. I'll keep this, even though it can't make basic planes. That worries me. But double Supreme Verdict is completely insane in this matchup. I'm just going to ponder off of Volk. Fuck a Wasteland. They didn't have a turn 1 play. If they Wasteland, they're not going to have a turn 2 play either. And I am in the market for basic planes, which I just found. So I have basic planes and basic island now. That'll help me get set up. Alright, so this feels like a Sylvan Library or a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Dreadhorde Arcanist confirmed. Alright, so I can start sculpting. I'm going to do that. I'm going to brainstorm now. Like, I don't really want this Hall of Heliod's Generosity right now. I don't need this second Brazen Borrower, probably. Actually, Hull Breacher. Hull Breacher is pretty good because it can contest Arcanist in combat. So I'll put these two back, and I'm just going to fetch basic Island. Or I'm actually going to fetch basic Plains right now to make them respect Swords to Plowshares. Make them think about it a little bit. Like, if I fetch Island here, they just don't even have to think about anything. But, I mean, there's not really things to think about as it is, because they're literally just casting their cantrip and attacking. Even if I have Plow, that doesn't change. But, like, maybe they'll make a different decision on one of their cantrips, thinking about Swords to Plowshares. But, I don't know. It's a tiny little... I'm not even going to call it an edge. I'm not going to give it that much credit. It's just a tiny little thing. Though I am lining up Dovin's Veto with their turn 3 Oko, which I'm pretty excited about. So next turn, if they cantrip before combat, I can try to Hull Breach, and that'll at least throw them off their mana. Though Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast, they have a ton of answers to Hull Breacher. Alright, so lining up for this Supreme Verdict's going to be really important. Alright, absolutely want to find that land while I can. Okay, so Scalding Tarn does help. I think these Hull Breachers, at least one of them, has done as much as it's going to do. I want to keep the Dovin's Veto. Do I need 2 Supreme Verdicts right now? No, I'll just play to the 1. I'm going to fetch basic Island right now. Then I can try to Brazen Borrow. No, I want to just hold up Veto for Oko, because if I can Veto and Oko, untap Supreme Verdict, my board is clear. And Wasteland is probably the most devastating thing they can do, but even that I'm pretty well set up for. Wow, no cantrip. They're just attacking. Please cast Oko. Let me line up my beautiful hand. I mean, Oko's good because I can veto it. Clothis, that's bad news. I can try to borrow that. Alright, Clothis was a good one. I'll Brazen Borrower it in the end step. They're likely to commit some counterspell to this, like Daze or whatever, but then the Daze is used, and I get to Supreme Verdict this board. Okay. So I'll jam Supreme Verdict here. Yeah, Clothis is a rough one, though. That one can win a game on its own. And it's a creature, I couldn't veto it. So I need to gain life or control graveyards. I have no way to control graveyards. I didn't bring in my graveyard hate, and I'm not going to. Am I one of these embarrassing blue decks that's just ice cold to Clothis? Is this the life I've lived? Court of Grace would be pretty exciting here because I could back it up with Flusterstorm. Oh, aggressive. Okay. I'll do this Ponder then. Yeah, those are 1-for-1s I'm willing to trade. Clothis is indestructible, unfortunately, so the Seal of Cleansing is not going to help me right now. Alright, so I'm going to draw Wasteland. I'm not sure why I played it. Alright, I should have played the Mountain. But I'm going to leave up Dovin's Veto for a potential Oko and Hull Breacher if they cantrip, and then I'll untap and cast Court of Cunning with Flusterstorm backup. Alright, so do I want to breach? No, they still have their land drop. I don't want to play Hull Breacher if they could still play Oko. Okay, top bottom. Alright, now I can Hull Breacher. I mean, they like Daze, Lightning Bolt, Pyroblast all kill this thing, but I want to at least contest it now so I can do what I want on my turn. Daze actually resets their land drop, but they can't Oko this turn, which is what I was trying to keep from happening. Alright, so have they brainstormed since they picked up the last land? I don't think so. So I'm going to Wasteland here. They can float, and then Are they going to Stifle? Or are they just fetching? What's going on here? Move into combat, of course. Second main. Court of Cunning. With Flusterstorm backup. So I guess let's see how many counterspells they have. I guess if I don't Wasteland, I can play around Daze. Alright, yeah, I fucked that up probably. I don't know, it's tough, because like, I can play around double one counter spell, but then I lose to Daze, and they've already played some number of Days. Oh, did I not even make a land drop yet? I just lost to Daze for no reason. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I forgot I didn't play that. Me talking about how I couldn't play around both. Could have played around both. Oh baby, it's been a long game. Alright, let's I think I knew I was drawing that, so I'm in trouble now. I'm just dead in 2 turns. Alright, yeah, that was pretty horrendous. Alright, Oko. Finally, I got to veto an Oko. Moral victory. That's all I've got left at this point. Ha! This Delver's gonna flip, just to show me who's boss. Though it doesn't even need to, because Clothis will win the game. Alright, they brought in Return to Nature. I played it out, got a little bit of extra information there. Alright. That was... Let's forget about that one. On to the next game. So, time to figure out what my plan is going to be. Do I have anything that challenges Clothis? It's only Force of Will, really. That is a pretty big blind spot in this list right now, so I'll take note of that. Does the presence of Clothis change my Force of Will count, or do I just want to try to beat that card some other way? Like, I have the Brazen Borrowers that can buy time. Seal of Cleansing was pretty low impact. Maybe I just need to rely on Brazen Borrowers to get out of situations that Seal of Cleansing would help in. I think Vendilion Click being able to be an end step play Also relevant in combat, that is of interest. Replenish being a non-blue when the game spell is also of interest. It's Force, Crucible, Click, and Replenish are the cards that are on the table right now. I don't think I want the Force. Replenish is another 4-drop. That makes my deck really heavy. I'm going to take Vendilion Click just as something with some agency on the end step. Vendilion Click plus Hull Breacher is also a combo. If I get Caracas involved, that could actually hardlock them. So I'm going to try to work this Caracas back into the deck too. Maybe I just cut Hall of Heliod's Generosity, though overwhelming their wastelands does seem worth doing. It might be Court of Grace. That's a 4-mana spell. It's hard to protect the Monarch in this matchup. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna commit to this plan. Yeah, like, it would have been really easy to board into a deck that was way too heavy on 4-drops, and I don't want to be that deck. Alright, this hand is good. I kind of wish this Brainstorm was a Ponder, but it's not, and that's fine. I'll live. This is the first opening hand that Swords to Plowshares against this Delver opponent, and it looks like we're going to need it. Alright, so I'm going to fetch basic planes. It's not time for this Brainstorm. I'm going to play around. No, I'm not going to play around Force of Negation. If they want a 2-for-1 themselves to save this Delver, they can do that. I will offer it up. Compared to untapping and they get like Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm kind of options. Right, so this Brainstorm does need. Oh, they shuffled. No land drop. So they have 7 spells in hand. That's kind of troublesome. This Brainstorm does need to resolve, or else we're in the same boat. Oh my god. Who Delvers the Delver? I'm going to put Moat and Supreme Verdict back in the deck in that order. And I'm going to do it. They missed their land drop. I'm going to hit that. I have Ponder to work through the Brainstorm cards. If they just go to discard here, I'm going to be so happy. Oh, okay, I don't care about that. Yeah, that doesn't help them play the game, which is what they're trying to do, obviously. All right, another basic island. I'll take that. Working through these 4-drops is a little awkward, but I'm not going to turn on a basic island in this spot. Just go to discard. Go to discard. Damn it. They're so lucky. Okay, okay. All right, but now they're dug out. They played around Wasteland by fetching this island, which means that they can't cast most of their spells. I can Brainstorm now and hope that one of the 2 mystery cards are lands. Or I can draw Moat next turn and be sure to be a little deeper in the deck. I'm just going to pass. Like, I'm in a position where I'm ahead. Like, this is exactly the type of game I want to play. And doing something silly like Brainstorm locking myself is exactly how I would lose it. Oh, this is bad news. Because their hand is 6 spells, I have to assume there's a Force over there. All right, there wasn't. Interesting. Or that's not what they want to use it on. All right, Brainstorm, pay me off. All right, Brainstorm paid me off. Thank you, Brainstorm. I'm going to put back Moat and Supreme Verdict. Or maybe Moat Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'll put back Moat Shark Typhoon. I'll fetch the basic island, or basic mountain is what I meant. So I can't cast this Supreme Verdict, but I can do just about everything else. I can play Teferi with Pyroblast backup. I can Pyroblast a second Oko. I can cycle and make a 1/1 Shark. I could Pyroblast this Brainstorm if I want to get super aggro. I don't think that I do, though. I want to run them out of... because I'm not killing them quickly. That's the reason I didn't hit this Brainstorm. If I had a plan to just turn the corner and kill them quickly like a Delver deck, I would have fired that right off. But I don't. They're going to have time to dig out of this regardless. So there's no reason to attack their options. I want to attack their payoffs. And I will start attacking their life total 1 point at a time starting right now. The race is on. All right, Teferi, let's go. This probably have a Red Blast here. That's fine. Okay. Just work through those. It's got to happen eventually. I have a redundant Teferi. Oh, they're in a pretty good spot to resolve an Oko here. All right, Klothys, also pretty good. Teferi can bounce that. I'm going to attack first, see if they interact with my Shark in combat. Damn. Alright, this is getting bad now. Fucking Klothys. What a monster. Absolute monster. Klothys, it wins the race against Shark, even if we started at the same life total, and I actually started lower. Like, I'm saving this Pyroblast for basically for Oko, because that's not a card I can beat in this position. Court of Cunning would be a great, Court of Cunning would be a great draw. Alright, I can plow that. Alright, so I can Supreme Verdict if I need to. I'm going to plow Arcanist on my turn before they untap and can hardcast a Force or Force of Negation. Yeah, Court of Cunning needs to show up real quick. That's about the only way I have to race Klothys. Ugh. So I should probably cast this moat. They probably don't care about it, but getting it in play at least alleviates a number of my worries, a number of top decks they could have. Really wish I had a Rest in Peace, but that's not a card I play. Okay, now we can turn the clock up a lot. Might be a little late, but it is something I can do here. So fetching to 8, I'm on a 4-turn clock. I can make a 1 point bigger Shark if I just cycle right now. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I think that operating in their end step is worth more than 1 point of attack, though I did not actually do the math to determine if that's true. I'm not going to lie. I guess a 4/4 Shark can't get lightning bolted, which is a big change. All right, let's see if they want to fight over one of these, like if they Red Blast one. Alright, do you have a third Pyroblast? Hardcast Force is fine. I'm ready for that. Alright, Pyroblast that. What do we got? Give it to me. If they had Pyroblast, they would have led on that, so they might still have Force Blue card. Yeah, damn it. Alright, I think that was my last chance to win this game. Clothis, absolute monster. So I need to come up with some plan to beat Clothis in the sideboard. This has been an embarrassing showing. Brazen Borrower now is something that could buy me a little bit of time. I'm in double bolt range at this point, so I could lose just very easily. Can't count on this 3-turn clock that is visible. Brazen Borrower. Or just bolt me in my upkeep and it doesn't matter. Alright, I did draw the Brazen Borrower. Alright, when does this happen? Pre-combat main phase. Okay. So I can do this on their turn. I mean, every counterspell gets me here, but I can do this. This would buy a lot of turn and add to the clock. Had another force. Yep, now I'm at 2, dead to Lightning Bolt. I drew one of my last two outs. Alright, I don't care about Dreadhorde Arcanist. Brazen Borrower. Caracas. Not currently a creature. Alright, I'm dead. Dead to Clothis twice. I had every part of their deck covered except Clothis. So this is not a surprise. Like, Clothis is a known card in Legacy, but I need something in the sideboard to deal with that. Whether it's Council's Judgment or Celestial Purge, just something's got to go in the deck to deal with that. I can't just have a blind spot that big. All right, lessons learned. Next round. All right, on the draw for round 3. I'm going to keep this. I wish this island was basic, but I'm on the draw. I have a Force of Will. Options aplenty. Ooh, they are some sort of reanimation strategy. This might be the card I want to force, like, rather than wait for a payoff. I do plan on wasting them, though, if we get to my turn. Oh, they're Hogak. They're not. Okay, never mind. I'm not wasting. I'm going straight. I'm racing straight up to this moat. Just need to hit my land drops and not be dead is the plan. Swords to Plowshares, Brazen Borrower, Force of Will. This is not helpful. Like, I do want the plow, but I need lands. All right, the deck heard that I wanted a moat and kind of answered my prayers. All right, now I know what I'm up against. Hogak is one of the reasons moat is in the deck. Like, this is one of those matchups where not being able to attack is a game ender for the most part. Cabal Therapy. I mean, okay. Like, I can force it or they can name force. Either one's fine. Hopefully they just, like, name Brainstorm. Name Force of Will, yep, okay. Force of Will is in there, confirmed. I think it's going to be pretty hard to cast 2 creatures at this point, which was the other thing I was worried about. They just saw the moats. It sucks that I have both and that they've seen them, because now they cast a creature, they flashback Cabal Therapy naming moat, they get both of the moats in my deck. Fuck my life. So, there's that. That sucks. Well, at least I have the replenish, so the clock to get the moats into play is still the same. I just need 4 mana. They named Ponder. Yeah, that was actually the smart one. So now they play like any zombie next turn. Recast Gravecrawler. I'm facing down Vengevine. Alright, so I don't need to show them I drew this Tundra. Like, playing Wasteland's fine. I'm probably just going to cycle Shark Typhoon anyway. I might not need to do that now that I drew the land. Like, I can wait a turn and actually produce a blocker. It's just a race to moat. Yeah, this is the best possible zombie. There's no reason to cycle in response because I don't have a blue card even if I hit the force. So they can cast Gravecrawler, which triggers Vengevine. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. They have one card too few to attack with Vengevine and get back Hogak, so they have to make a decision. JK. They have everything they want. Alright, so I'm taking 4 this turn. I can chump Vengevine with a Shark on the following turn, and I take 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm at 16. I'm at 5 under that math. Alright, so there is going to be a 1-turn window where if I find the land, I can jam moat. Alright, let's see. Alright, found a court. Not going to play that, so I have 2 draw steps to rule them all at this point. If they have land Vengevine from hand, that's 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm at 1. That cuts off fetch land as a draw, but I still have regular lands that are live. So, alright. It's going to come down to moat or note. Them being blue-based is also kind of concerning because they could have Force of Will in their deck. Also, they could just like Abrupt Decay my Shark here. That's 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that's the same as the playing Vengevine from hand. Well, tick-tock, tick-tock. Time to draw a land. Oh, it might not even matter if they can alter combo kill me right now. Land, please. Deck, land, 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 land. Fuck. Alright, I'm just dead. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. There's not even a combo of like cards I can't even like ponder into Brainstorm into Island Plow or like Plains Plow. Yeah. Being on the draw was a huge hit that game. Yeah, that sucked. Had a lot of looks at that one. Okay, so playing against Hogak. Graveyard Hate comes in. Seal of Cleansing for their altar. Containment Priest comes in. I guess Stony Silence is better than Seal because that turns out all the altars instead of just one. I don't think I want Pyroblast or Veto. Flusterstorm can fight over their discard spells or their like Force of Vigors for my moats, so I might want that. Hull Breacher doesn't matter. Crucible, not going to happen. Court of Grace doesn't matter. I think I want the Force. I want the Sharks. Supreme Verdict matters. Brazen Borrower can buy time. Force, yeah. I want every Force, every spot removal. Caracas is fine. Maybe Shark Typhoon is a little slow here. Or a Court of Cunning, I think, probably. No, Teferi's got to be worse than Court of Cunning. Probably, maybe. Oh, maybe not. Like, I guess if I had drawn Teferi on that final turn last game instead of Court of Cunning, I could have bounced Hogak, survived another hit, seen an extra card. So yeah, Teferi is better than Court of Cunning. Worth noting, this deck I have currently selected can basically only win by milling them out or slow beats in the air with sharks. Like, there is no quick turn of the corner. So I am really going to have to completely prison them out. But I'll do it. That is my plan. The moat. It had its chance to shine. Alright, I have motive again. I'll keep this. Alright, I will ponder and respect discard spells, and I'll ponder my second best card to the top of the deck, whatever it may be. So this is the fourth land. I don't really want Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Alright, whatever. I mean, I don't really want that Supreme Verdict either. I don't think I'll need it and moat, but it's not hurting me by being there. And I do want my fourth land. Brazen Borrower can buy a little bit of time. So I hope they don't play Wasteland. I don't think they do. I think I want to bounce this Hedron Crab in their upkeep. I know they can just recast it, then still play their land, but that at least turns them off. Or maybe that gives them an extra creature spell for Vengevine. Maybe that was worse than just not doing that. Maybe I should have just brainstormed. Alright, questionable activity there. Shit, they hit a Vengevine. That's what I was hoping to avoid. Yeah, that line was ill-conceived. Oh, are they just passing the turn? They don't have a follow-up? Alright, maybe that line was better than it looked. Through no fault of my own. Okay, so I can brainstorm or cycle Shark, and Moat is at the ready. I don't know what kind of disruption I need to respect out of them. Alright, Force of Vigor confirmed. Nothing else really hit the graveyard. They mostly just milled 3 enablers or reactive spells and nothing they actually want in the graveyard. Alright, there's Gravecrawler. I assume they're just going to cast 2 creatures. Alright, if they mill a Gravecrawler, alright, another Force of Vigor down. Well, they didn't play Gravecrawler last turn when they could have. Oh, they're playing Hogak from hand. Okay. So this is going to be a good turn to Supreme Verdict. I'll chump the Vengevine with my Shark. This absorbing this 4 damage here is worth more than whatever else I'd be doing with this Shark Typhoon. Like making a 2/2 Shark 2 turns from now? No thanks. Alright, block that. Alright, so let's hope they kept a super reactive hand of some kind, and Supreme Verdict is just not something they can react to. Get out of here. Go ahead, force it. I dare you. So that bought some time, which is step 1 of the process, I guess. Let's see how quickly they can rebuild. Alter, okay. That's kind of scary. But they do need creatures before it matters. Wow, do I just waste them twice? And play Brazen Borrower? This is not how I envisioned this matchup going, but I am gonna get in on it since it's been offered to me. That takes me off Boat mana and Supreme Verdict mana, but I have the Brazen Borrower to threaten them. They've made it clear that their hand doesn't really function. So I don't want to let them get to a place where they can cast 2 creatures and Vengevine and get the altar chain going. Alright, Brazen Bee. Oh yeah, that was a great draw. Now I don't even really need to worry about the altar combo. And if they spend a Force of Vigor on this, then okay. I think I should Brainstorm first, though. This hand's starting to chunk up. Ooh, Court of Cunning. Change of plans. I'm going to put Shark, Typhoon, and Moat on top in that order, or the other order. Supreme Verdict, Moat, Moat, Shark, Typhoon. No, Moat, Supreme Verdict. Final answer. I don't know how many Dryad Arbors they play, but I hope it's not 2. I'm just going to jam my court. Like this, if they have Force of Will, they're going to force, and then I can see that. If they have Force of Vigor, I still get to be the Monarch. I just don't get to mill people. I'm not even sure if I want to mill people. Like, milling them could hit Bridge from Below or Gravecrawler or a bunch of Vengevines. Yeah, I'm not going to mill anybody. Okay, I'm milling nobody. I'm just going to attack them with damage. I'm going to cast this Ponder and the Supreme, or the Stony Silence probably. I'd really like to find a Force of Will or Flusterstorm. Okay, there's Force. I was looking for that to protect the moat when I go for it. So now I can shut off this altar, don't have to worry about that. I'm drawing a plow off the Monarch. I have Force of Will backup. I can moat next turn. Okay, yeah, they were Force of Vigor. They were waiting for a second target. This is not the fight I want to fight. I'm actually fine with this. Because I'm not going to mill them anyway. I'm still the Monarch. I just don't want my moat to get killed. Now the altar is scary again, but I think that's okay. Alright, second plow in hand. They have 3 more draw steps. Alright, here's moat. Another borrower. That's going to cut their clock in half. I attacked them to 6, then surprise, you have 1 turn when you thought you had 2. Gravecrawler. Is there another one in the graveyard? No, not yet, but they can alter. Alright, I guess if I get comboed from here, they get me. There's not a Bridge from Below yet. Alright, so Gravecrawler is back. Alright, I might die from here. I don't actually know. Maybe the Stony Silence was more important than I gave it credit for. I'm gonna Force of Will Hogak. Yeah, they're not gonna be able to recast him. They've already cast 2 spells. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna force Hogak. And do I want a Supreme Verdict or Shark Typhoon? Alright, I'll pitch Shark Typhoon. So Brazen Borrower bouncing Altar of Dementia could do something. Yeah, I guess I need another counterspell now. Or I can plow both of the Grave Crawlers. I'm going to attack first, draw from my Monarch trigger, and then see what the board looks like. Containment Priest. Okay. That saves a lot of stress. So what is the correct way to do this? I think I pass the turn, let them sack a grave crawler, plow the other one before they can recast the one from the graveyard. So Hogak and Gravecrawler still come back from the graveyard because they're cast, but Vengevines don't. Alright. So milled 2 cards, they have no creatures, no enablers. Oh no, Bloodghast. Containment Priest handles that. Bloodghast was not cast. So that doesn't get the chain rolling. Oh, do they have Abrupt Decay? Assassin's Trophy, alright. I'm ready for that one. Alright. Did we do it? Yes, we did it. Okay. That was close. I should give Altar of Dimension more respect than I did. I think the Seal of Cleansing should also be in the deck. And maybe I should be milling them with Court, because that reduces the number of shots they get off of Altar with Hogak, because they do need a number of cards in their deck to build up the mass, but I guess Court milling them would just give them the mass for free. That's kind of close and tricky. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't do that. Bring in the Seal. Because I do have Replenish. I don't know, I feel like bringing in every way that to not win is important, or not lose is important. So I have to cut something. Is Teferi or Shark Typhoon a worse card in this matchup? And it's probably Shark Typhoon. Because Teferi can make their Force of Vigors worse also. And by worse, I mean mostly unplayable, because they can't cast them on my turn, and they can't pitch for them on their turn. Okay. I'll do this. Alright, I have the most potent graveyard hate spell that I play is in my hand. Ooh, they mulled to 4. That's lucky. They went to 4 real quick. I don't even think I kept 7 yet, and they were already on 4. So, how do I lose now? A hand of, like, discard spell, but we've only seen Cabal Therapy, and they're not going to blind name Soul Guide Lantern. So, I don't know. Maybe they just ran their Fell right into a hate card this game, but I take my W's where I can get them. So, let's see how this goes. I have Plow, but no white. So I gotta find white at some point, but Plow is going to be very good. Yeah, Hedron Crab is the best, probably the best thing they can do on 4 cards. White mana. Alright, that was not white mana. I think I should just play the Soul Guide Lantern. Just get the insurance policy in place. I'll deal with Crab in the future. Stitcher Supplier, yep. Bridge from Below is found. So they're going to have to fetch if they want to cast the Gravecrawler. So I will... So do I exile in response to this trigger or in response to Gravecrawler? What am I more worried about? Alright, I'll let them have the trigger. Okay, now I can exile a Hogak. This is better. They do get to cast this Gravecrawler, but I'm not going to let them also cast the Hogak. Alright, now I need to find white mana to control these anemic beats. White mana found. So now I might want to save the Brainstorm. I was going to Brainstorm, but I don't really want this Hall of Heliod's intervention, so yeah, I'll Brainstorm. That's a lot of stuff. Put back this and this, I suppose. And I want to plow Hedron Crab. I think that's the one that sets their graveyard up the best. Or it gives them the most top decks, I guess is the way I want to phrase that. Exiling Gravecrawler reduces their clock from almost nothing, takes it from a 7-turn clock to a 19-turn clock, but I think that's way less important than like functioning in my like they're refilling their graveyard. They care about a lot more than doing that, obviously. I'm gonna take 3 damage and then make a 1/1 shark because I don't actually want to block either of these creatures. Because they can just replay the Gravecrawler and blocking the Stitcher Supplier fills up their graveyard. So I'll just make a 1/1. If I can Swords to Plowshares the Supplier, then I'm interested in blocking the Gravecrawler, but not before then. Alright, this hand needs a lot of help. Alright, Fetch Land is beautiful. I'll put back the island this time. Fetch another Tundra, they're not going to punish that. Come on, Swords to Plowshares. Alright, I'll take a Moat also. So I'm going to hide Moat on top of my deck, draw Brainstorm. Alright, and this time I will block Gravecrawler, because I don't care if they play it again. I just care that my life total is high. And I have forces to protect the Moat, and they don't have a whole lot of cards in hand. That's what happens when you muddle 4. I don't recommend it. So that Shark ended up absorbing the same amount of damage that it would have last turn, but this way I got to see more options and make more informed decisions. Moat. Alright, they didn't force. They might be at a point where they're closer to hard casting force anyway, or they're just at a point where they're going to concede to Moat. I'll take it. Moat's been pretty good this league. I'm on the play. I have Island Ponder. I'll keep. This hand's obviously land heavy, but I love a land heavy hand. Like we've seen in this league, when I'm able to cast and resolve my spells, things go well for me. And that usually comes down to if I can play around a Daze or a Spell Pierce, or can I protect from Red Blast with Flusterstorm, and all of that comes down to mana. So I'll keep a 5-lander with Ponder most of the time in the blind. Like if I knew my opponent was playing something like Oops All Spells, I would mulligan this hand to one that interacts more directly, but in the blind, this is exactly the type of hand that I signed up to keep. Force of Will, good find. Brainstorm on top, turn these lands into not lands. That Ponder was a juicy one. A Snow Island Arkham's Astrolabe strategy. Could be Doomsday, could be Snow, could be a lot of things. Because that's Legacy. I'm going to save this Brainstorm until I know what they're doing. Right, Prismatic Vista, that's usually not in Doomsday, so this is probably just straight up Snow. So Caracas is a pretty nice card to have against straight up Snow because it pressures Uro in a way. Like, they get to keep drawing cards, of course, but like they don't get to attack for 6 ever. And Uro is basically their only way to close out a game with any sense of urgency. All right, didn't get Hull Breachered there. That's good news. I'm going to put back the Volcanic Island and probably Scalding Tarn. I don't think they're going to punish my mana base, but I will fetch basic planes just to be safe. Oh, hello! Love me a Crucible of Worlds. I wasn't going to Wasteland them this turn, but drawing Crucible changed that. Coatl, sure. I am not going to spend my Swords to Plowshares on that. I'll cycle a 1/1 Shark and just trade off 1 for 1. Or, like, right now Coatl would be a 2 for 1 because it draws a card. I'm going to ambush it with a Coatl of my own. So we're still even on cards at this point in the exchange. And that Coatl makes me even more convinced they are Snowco. This Wasteland plan is getting worse now that they Prismatic Vista and the double. Not that I ever thought it was going to be like good and really choke them out of the game, but it doesn't look good on turn 3 and 4 and 5. But when we get into turn 8, 9, 10, and they only have the basics to work with, it's going to look a lot better. I will go for this Crucible. Start playing fetch lands out of my graveyard. See if this is something they want to fight over. All right, that's fine. That's going to generate a lot of card advantage over this long game that we're almost certainly about to play. And I'm in a good position to fight over Okos. Like, Oko is the card I'm worried about at this point. And I have the Moat in the deck somewhere. They had to play out a Tundra, so that's going to get wasted. So if they hadn't played a non-basic... Oh, bummer. All right. Never mind. I was about to say, if they hadn't played a non-basic, I would have fetched in the end step, but now I'm not going to do that because I was going to play Wasteland, but then they killed that, so it didn't matter. But Court of Cunning, strong card here. I can protect it with a Force. I can protect it from Icefang Coatl with Plow, but their Astrolabe's tapped, so they're not even going to have that. They can't Red Blast or Veil of Summer right now. They don't have green. So they're going to have to force to fight over this. And I have 1 to fight back with. I hope they just don't have 2. Oh, they said ouch in the chat. I hope that's good. The great thing about Caracas is I don't even need to worry about milling the Uro deck because I can just bounce it with Caracas, and every time they play Uro, they get closer to decking, which is my win con. All right, well, they said ouch in the chat, but now this thing is still on the stack. Okay. Force pitching Coatl. Force pitching Force. Please don't have another one. All right. Brainstorm, Desperation Brainstorm. It's cool that they had to pitch Coatl to Force because that's one of their best ways to take the Monarch. All right, are we in? We're in. Okay, so Oko can turn Astrolabe into an attacker with like functional haste. So drawing a blue card or a second removal spell here would be good. All right, great. We found Brainstorm, so I can plow the Elk, and if they have protection for the Elk, I can force that protection. So finding a blue card there was a big deal, and now I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Even if they have another Abrupt Decay, Oh, it's my opponent's first time seeing Court of Cunning. Uh-oh. They are in some trouble then. That's what that pause was. They were reading the card and figuring out all the ramifications of it. A throne built on wisdom cannot be toppled. I agree. Magic flavor team. Oh. That's a cool looking Caracas. Once again, the borderless cards, I'm a big fan of them in person. On Magic Online, it just looks like they didn't code it properly. Like, it just looks like something's missing. But it is still pretty sweet looking. I think it's probably better than my old art but new border Caracas. Not that it matters. They all bounce legendary permanents. I actually think that I like old art for the nostalgia and the aesthetic, but if you put old art, which is generally worse than new art, into a new frame, then you lose the aesthetic and you just have bad art. So that's where I am with this Caracas right now. All right. I don't care about that. That's actually kind of a relief, them just having Uro, because now I don't even have to think about milling them. Because like the only reason I wouldn't mill them is because I'd be worried about them finding Uro. But now they have one, so I don't care. Just going straight for the face. And splat, milled a bunch of cards. Ooh, backup court. All right, I'll play my Caracas. I could just start milling for 20. Yeah, whatever. Let's fucking go. I don't get to be the double monarch, unfortunately. They just conceded to the second one. All right, fair enough. If the first one is going to win the game, let's just pile on a second. That's the life I want to live. Okay, so Pyroblasts are in. This is the matchup they're for. Seal of Cleansing can answer a Sylvan Library, which is one of the better cards. I want Soul Guide Lantern. Probably one, not both. Like, I want to be able to pressure their graveyard a little bit, but it's not like a Hogak where it's really the plan. Could also bring in the Spendilion Click as another way to interact, and I don't think the rest of these cards are important. Like, Stony Silence could affect their mana if I get them in the Wasteland Squeeze plus turn off their Astrolabes, but I don't really think that's a plan I'm going to play for. And I like Dovin's Veto as just a 1-for-1 upgrade to some of the forces. Alright, Hull Breacher's great. I don't think I need Path to Exile on top of the Plows for this particular matchup. Moat is good against Uro Oko, everything except Coatl, so that's what Moat is for. I don't think I need all 3 Supreme Verdicts here. I do want maximum Courts, because that's how I turn the corner and win these slow games. Brazen Borrower is medium, but not awful. Alright, it's a lot worse than Pyroblast, though, so I'm bringing in a strict upgrade for it. Do I need 2 Moats? Do I need 2 Supreme Verdicts? Alright, I don't think I need 2 Supreme Verdicts. So 1 Verdict, a bunch of Plows, plus Caracas, Brazen Borrower, Pyroblast. Yeah, that sounds like enough to control their creatures, plus Teferi, of course. Maybe I should just get rid of this Force of Will also. It's Force of Will or Shark Typhoon are the remaining cards that I can cut. I think fighting over Oko is going to be important enough that I want some critical mass of Force of Wills in the deck. Like, I am going to want them. Winning a fight over Replenish, winning a fight over Moat, yeah, all of that is important. So let's go. And winning that fight over Court of Cunning last game won me the entire game. So that's the sort of pressure points that I'm playing to. And I can't just be forceless when it comes to that. Did I bring in Flusterstorm? Oh, nope. Forgot about that one. I should have brought in that to fight their Pyroblast. But I'm going to have to live without it now. I'm in. Alright, this hand's a mulligan. This hand is even worse. Alright, good thing hand size barely matters in these matchups. Replenish straight to the bottom, that's an easy one. And I think Hall of Heliod is the other stinker. Alright, Hull Breacher, you're gonna have to save me here, buddy. Ooh, a different snow island. I might be able to get some advantage off of that at some point. I don't know. Can my deck see anything? They probably don't play days. Yeah, it probably will never matter that they have mismatched lands. Force of Will, Seal of Cleansing, Shark Typhoon. None of these are the third land for Hull Breacher that I'm looking for. Right, Teferi is one of my better cards in this matchup if it resolves. Right, this mana doesn't cast Pyroblast. Shit, it does cast that. I just bottomed the Seal of Cleansing too. I didn't bottom it, I shuffled it. Maybe I'll draw it. Didn't draw it. Did draw Fetch Land. Does that matter? I have Hull Breacher. No, that's great. So I do have an answer for Sylvan Library, but they are going to get one, at least one launch off it. So I'm looking for counter spells to help fight. I probably should have just brainstormed on my turn. Now I'm opening myself up to Hull Breacher, Red Blast, all sorts of shit. All right, what do you got? Are we just jamming Oko? Jamming Uro. All right, I'll brainstorm in response to that. Hey, that's not bad. I'm going to get rid of this Shark Typhoon and this Swords to Plowshares. No, Vendilion Click. Swords to Plowshares. I know this is close. I'll keep the Vendilion Click. That's probably more interactive against the type of game I'm expecting to play. Alright, so I'm going to fetch for Volcanic Island here. Alright, 3 mana now. I think I just want to jam the Seal of Cleansing. There's way more answers to Hull Breacher than there is to Seal. Like Red Blast, Abrupt Decay, Lightning Bolt, Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will. Force of Negation is the only card that Hull Breacher dodges that Seal of Cleansing doesn't. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're actually really close to escaping Uro, in which case Teferi's going to have to do some work. Yeah, like if they have a fetch land or a cantrip, though I guess this swamp doesn't help cast Uro, so they do need another green source. Alright, so now they need another blue or green source and another card in their graveyard. That checks both boxes. Alright. Remember that time I shuffled away Swords to Plowshares? Alright, so either they couldn't interact with my seal, or they chose not to protect Uro. If they did choose not to protect Uro, that's a reasonable choice. Alright, so this mana doesn't cast Pyroblast. I don't even see a red source at all. Drawing some sort of counterspell would be great, like Force. Or, yeah, backup Plow's even better. So I can Plow, and if they force it, then I can fetch, get Teferi, and bounce. I'm leading on Plow because I'd rather resolve Teferi. Yeah, the secret is to bottom cards with Brainstorm or shuffle away cards that you're pretty sure you're about to draw anyway. Do you have double force? How good was that Sylvan Library? Fuck, it was that good. Okay, they did have to pitch Oko to do that, and Hull Breacher can help control Uro. So they have this draw plus their draw step, and then I just have to deal with a 6/6. Red Blast. Alright, Swords to Plowshare is pretty good. All right, so I'm going to plow in their upkeep. So time to hardcast Force. All right, they did hardcast Force. All right, so I'm going to flash in Hull Breacher in response to the attack trigger. All right, how good have these top decks been? Like Abrupt Decay fucks this up. Another Force Blue card fucks this up. I'm also dead on board, so that's not fun. All right, come on, Hull Breacher. I wonder if my opponent's ever seen this card before, if they haven't seen Court. Okay, yep. I had several answers to Uro this game. All of them got countered. The Sylvan Library stuck around for one turn too many. Can we just... All right. I was just going to say, can I run another answer to Uro? I'll take it. Get out of here. Ugh. All right, that'll buy some time. So I don't care if they Uro this turn. I could click to bottom the Uro, but I would rather click when I have Caracas up, because that's a pretty strong interaction in itself. It's a shame they could kill the Hull Breacher. I almost had the full lock in. Yeah, as long as they don't Assassin's Trophy my Caracas, I don't mind them Uroing again here. Ooh, they didn't even go for the full Uro. But I am going to click in the end step here. Forget about Caracas. I'd rather untap into it. What do you got? Oh god, are they hardcasting Force on this? What's the plan? Abrupt Decay in response to the trigger? What's happening to me? Oh, yep, hardcast Force. Alright, wasn't going to resolve anyway. I am going to Brainstorm because they are Hellbent, and if I draw a Monarch card or Moat, I'm in good shape. So yeah, I want to put these two back and resolve the Moat when I know that I can. Fuck Uro, fuck Oko. And now we're holding. They are 6 cards deeper into their deck than I am, but I am doing my best to generate virtual card advantage in the face of their actual card advantage. I'm also significantly up on the clock and up a game. Am I up a game? Did I lose game 2? This is game 2, right? I hope so. I've lost track. Your whole life blurs together when you are playing decks like this, especially in these matchups. So we've seen Abrupt Decay out of them. I have not seen Assassin's Trophy. They usually do split them though, so I can't hide behind this Moat forever. Just having this Uro in play is pretty good if they want to unearth it right now. The good news is Assassin Trophy can't hit Moat and Caracas, so I have 2 answers to Uro. They probably should bring back Uro though, just to draw the card. Even if it gets bounced, like, that is still a draw engine. They shuffled that Ponder. Just bring back Uro before I draw a card that exiles it. Yeah, here he comes. Alright. Can attack. So I'm not going to bounce it unless they remove Moat, because I don't want it to be a draw engine just for free. I don't need to think about it as long as I have a Moat. Oh, the other. They're at so much life. I'm gonna have to deck them now. Good thing that was my plan anyway. I don't think cycling now versus on their end step makes any difference. Like, my top card's a land. I'm gonna work through it all the same. Icefang Coatl is a card I need to look out for. I am at 6, so maybe I'll just make a 2/2 shark and leave it there as defense. All right, well, we'll see. I think that sounds right to me. Like, I'm not gonna beat them via their life total this game, so opponent says mode is brutal. I concur. Yep, there's the Oko. Okay, so now Shark Typhoon is dangerous. No, I'll just make a 3/3 shark now and pressure Oko. Because if I make a 2/2 shark and just wait, then the Oko can trade like we saw in that other matchup, and giving them a 2 or 3/3 flyer when I'm hiding behind moat is pretty dumb. Yeah, so I'm just going to make the maximum size shark and attack Oko. Big as possible. I kind of hope they Swords to Plowshare it, because I would rather have 3 life than a shark right now. Like, I'm lethal on board to this Uro. Alright, that takes a lot of pressure off. I'm actually going to save this Pyroblast, because I don't really care about Oko, unless it's trading for a shark. So I'll just attack in for a while, and hold on to this Pyroblast, watching out for cards I actually care about. Like, this can win a counter war over a Court of Cunning later on in the game. Oh, you have a Caracas. Now they can bounce their own Uro as a draw engine. Alright, they didn't want to do that. Okay, there it is. They figured it out in the second main. Yeah, that's probably worth doing at this stage. Just tap, gain 3 life, draw a card. Not bad. I would play that land in my deck. And it can't attack anyway, whatever. So they can escape Uro, just draw more cards. I probably should answer this Oko. I don't know. It's close if I Pyroblast this Oko or not, because if they find Assassin's Trophy and just elk up, I lose. I guess we'll see what the top of the deck provides. That's not what I wanted. Alright, I'll attack Oko again. I'm going to hold on to this land. If I draw Brainstorm, I want some bad cards to get rid of. I guess also they would have to elk up before they moat, because before they trophy moat, because if they go for trophy, I can Pyroblast Oko in response. Okay. Alright, they figured out they can elk my shark. Got it. We're back to holding. Okay. Now I'll play this land because I have another one I can shuffle it with Brainstorm. There's already a fetch land in play. They didn't do the Caracas trick with Uro last turn. Maybe they're worried about decking. Unless they have like literally no outs, they should continue to draw cards. Uh-oh. So they have 4 cards in hand. I'm here to jam. If they just red blast it, it is what it is. If they have force, or maybe it'll just resolve. Wow. That is not what I was expecting to happen. I'm going to play my land in case I draw Force of Will, so I can hardcast it. Okay, so they're not going to get decked, but I am the Monarch. Hey, hey, hey! Alright, so I'm going to fetch a basic island and cast Hullbreacher, leaving up Pyroblast. Oh no, no, I'm fucking not. Because they can just trade with Oko? No way. Alright, almost messed that up. I am not playing Hullbreacher if they can steal it with Oko. I love that they have so many permanents that Magic Online had to rearrange its interface to accommodate them. And I'm still ahead, somehow. So I think they actually should have bounced their Caracas in response to its sack trigger, because then it's back in hand and they don't even need to go deeper. Like, they don't need to escape it again. Alright, yeah, so I'm just going to sit on this Hull Breacher. Hey, now we're talking. Alright, now I have a win condition. My previous opponent figured out that if they elk my angels when they come out, that I can't attack through my own moat. So let's hope that this opponent doesn't notice that. They have 17 cards left in their deck to my 34, so I have double their deck points. And I guess we'll see where this goes. They can't red blast it. If they counter it, it has to be with a blue card. So I have a blue card. I have Pyroblast for a blue card. Yeah, they're really good, opponent. So opponent said these courts are really something. It looks like they did not actually know about Commander Legends. So there's my Pyroblast. Oh my god. I can't turn this down. Alright, can we get them with 3 Commander Legends cards at the same time? Oh yeah. This is just dirty pool at this point. We got the GG in the chat. That was nice. Snowco, you are not a control deck when I'm around. Shark, 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 shark. Right, I'm on the draw. I'm gonna keep this hand. It's got plenty of interaction. It's pretty bad against combo, but the whole main deck's pretty bad against combo, so I'll keep. Our opponent's username is Tarmagarf. Armagard, it's Tarmagarf. Oh, I appreciate that. And another blue deck of some variety. We don't know if it's Doomsday or Miracles yet at this point, or anything in between. I probably should have played Scalding Tarn first, because I'm unlikely to fetch for basic planes against a deck that went Island, Snow-Covered Island Go. So I guess I'll just play the Tundra. This could be one of these newfangled Delver decks with a bunch of basic lands in it. Yeah, I thought it was more likely that it would be Snow. Let's brainstorm in response to that. I want to set up long-term inevitability with this Hall of Heliod's Generosity and the Shark Typhoon, and I already have both, so I'm not going to put those back. I will put back Path to Exile, because I'm not going to path an Icefang Coatl. Like, that's insane. They get 2 mana, it's a cantrip, and it's a Rampant Growth. No way. Not giving them all that. And they get to discard a card from my hand. It's like Explore plus Raven's Crime spliced together. Hard pass. And I guess I'll put Supreme Verdict on top too and decide if I want to draw it or not. Basically, if they stick Oko this turn, I would want it, and if they don't, I won't. Alright, yeah, it looks like we're playing against another snow strategy. This could be the Bant Hull Breacher deck that exists. This we'll find out pretty soon. I'll play around Wasteland just in case. It doesn't hurt to play around Wasteland if you can. In fact, I recommend it most of the time. I am going to ambush this Coatl in combat rather than jam Teferi into all the counterspells. Alright, so Hull Breacher. I'm going to Brainstorm in response. Alright, I have a shitload of creature removal, so I'm just going to jam these Supreme Verdicts now. I'll put back one of the Supreme Verdicts on top with Hull on top of it. Alright, yeah. Then I'm just going to fetch and cast Supreme Verdict next turn. I'm not feeding no Hull Breacher. Not going to give it my tasty force of will. Yeah, I guess I probably just want to get the other Tundra here. I really don't expect Wasteland out of this deck, and I'm already exposed to it, so might as well double down. You have the replacement Hull Breacher immediately. Maybe I should have forced that, but I have Brazen Borrower and Teferi to still challenge it. I don't want to 2-for-1 myself unless I have to. Like, I would force an Oko here. I guess I have to force that now or never. I'll pitch Court of Cunning because this Hull Breacher strat doesn't seem like the place for that. Alright, my Teferi resolved. Yours also. Or, your Teferi didn't resolve, neither did mine. I guess I should just bounce this now, before going to their turn. I am going to bounce the Hull Breacher at this point. Like, Veil of Summer blows me out, but that's going to blow me out on their turn too. Alright, yeah, Hull Breacher's just in their hand. That's fine. Then, if they don't jam it main phase... Oh, Jesus. Alright, I'll let Brazen Borrower fight over that. Yeah, this is a pretty aggressive, hateful deck. I wonder if Days Undoing is in this deck. Okay, so I can hardcast Brazen Borrower and Force of Negation this turn. I could also just make a 4/4 Shark if I think that's important. Worth noting, though, is that I don't get to draw a card off the cycle. Okay, they do have Days Undoing. Hope they don't have Force. I see the Flusterstorm, but I can pay for it. Nice, that was fortunate. Alright, Narset, what do you got? Show me your moves. Swords to Plowshares, alright, but not a white source. Okay. Brazen Borrower, let's go. Hope you don't have Days. Alright, yeah. Super disciplined about this Shark Typhoon. I'm going to end up getting a card off it. I even found the Swords of Plowshares for that Hull Breacher. And now I have the Hull Shark Typhoon engine up. They have 6 cards in hand, though, so I should watch out for those. Yeah, this I really like the Days Undoing engine in blue decks. I think it's really good, and it's cool that my opponent is playing around with it here. Teferi. Teferi's actually fine because Shark Typhoon kills it. But, oh, plus was super greedy. Yeah, so I was just going to say, but they have Swords to Plowshares, but now they don't. I'm just going to make the biggest possible shark. Then I can still make a 1/1 shark on my next turn. Or 2/2 if I draw a land right now. Like I can upkeep, put Hall on top. So now that Teferi's going to take a big chunk, they're not going to get a bounce out of him. I understand why they didn't want to bounce Brazen Borrower. Like, I get that. I'm just going to take my draw. Ho ho ho! Well, would you look at that? Alright, so attack Teferi. They're going to plow one of these. I'm going to jam my Hull Breacher, and then things get weird. Hello. Them having Teferi is a big deal, though. Really messes up my plow and my ability to fight over their Hull Breacher. Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's not very good here. Yeah, I can bounce my shark, sure. I'm going to regrow Shark Typhoon. And I'm going to attack Teferi. Teferi is way scarier than Jace on this board. Hull Breacher does a pretty good job defending from Jace the Mind Sculptor. Oh, you're a Terminus deck. Fuck. Well, that's bad news. Okay, see you later, Hull Breacher. Sorry. Yeah, that actually was horrendously brutal. We might be playing against a control deck that can go bigger than me. Terminus is a pretty big deal. Right, so they can put Swords of Plowshares on top of the deck. Okay. Ponder. That gets the plow right away. Okay. Still going to make a shark. Maybe I'll make a 1/1 shark so I can maintain the pressure. No, I'm going to make a 2/2 shark. Just make sure they have to answer it. I guess I might as well make it 3 if I'm doing that. So the way that I've played this... Oh, they didn't use their Hull Breacher to snipe that draw. That's lucky. Okay. That's gone. If I do this, I can still make a 2/2 shark. Alright, 2/2 shark. Still threatening. I don't know if they still have this Flusterstorm. They probably shuffled it away by now. It's not very good. That fucking Terminus. That was a good card. Narset, huh? Well, I guess I should make my shark in response here. See if I can draw a card. I'm going to make a 1/1 shark because they still have that Hull Breacher. Alright. Did they find the Days Undoing? They found Force of Will. That's really good. Oh, all their cards are really good. And all my cards are really bad. Yeah, when you build for creature matchups and end up in these ones, it's not where you want to be. Alright, I'll attack Narset. See, do you want to force this? Do you even care about this? It's pretty good. Alright, cool. I'll take that. Kind of regret not making a 2/2 shark, but yeah, I don't know. Did I fuck that up completely? Yeah, I think I was playing to a card that they probably have versus a card that is literally right there in front of me. I think that should have been a 2/2 shark. I'm getting obliterated by this Jace. I'm also behind on clock somehow. How? They've been taking so many more game actions than me. It's because I have to leave up my auto yields all the time for Hall of Heliod. Alright, well their hand is whatever they want it to be at this point. Probably Days Undoing is involved. Yep, okay, so I'm Hellbent. I was already Hellbent. Joke's on you. Oh, I drew Shark Typhoon. Wait, what the fuck just happened? Oh, the turn ends. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I didn't even consider that. Wow. Good thing I drew Shark Typhoon, Jesus. Right. I guess it doesn't matter. It would have shuffled in all the same. I think I want to attack Narset again. Though I'm not excited about any of them. I can hit my land drop with Crucible of Worlds. So I can play Hull Breacher right now, and that'll pressure the Sylvan Library. Guess I might as well. Which of your 7 fresh cards in hand do you want to use to answer this? So I can still make a 1/1 shark. Ooh, this Hull Breacher made it to the Sylvan Library trigger. Wait, what just happened? Oh, they declined the Sylvan Library. They put Terminus on top. Okay, I get it. Oh, they drew Terminus first. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. Okay, so you draw the Terminus first, then Sylvan Library happens. That's fucking sweet. I've never seen that happen before. Really cool interaction. Well played. Alright, I guess these aren't in their hand anymore. At least not reliably. Alright, so time to make a shark. 1/1 shark. Almost out of lands. Shark Typhoon on top. It'll draw itself with its own cycling ability. What a twisted world. And they go to clean up. Wow. Can I kill this Narset? Is it time? No chance. Yeah, I'm not going to force of will that. No way. Alright. I can fetch my last fetchable land this turn. Alright, Hull Breacher. Guess I have to cycle now. Should fetch first, though. I've already drawn a card this turn. I don't even get a card off Shark Typhoon, but they just won't get a treasure. Guess I'll force this. Yeah, no chance on that one. At least I can make a 2/2 shark to challenge it in combat. They get a treasure out of the deal. All right, pretty soon they've almost worked me down to no resources, so pretty soon I'll be able to F6 and at least start to regain time as my last precious resource available. Might as well make it a 3/3. If they have Swords to Plowshares, I'll take the extra life. All right, they just lost Hull Breacher. I'll take that. Deal, 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 deal. All right, now they're starting to Fate Seal me. Finally, that sweet F6 relief. Let's watch their clock get lower than mine. I have pretty high confidence that this matchup's going to go to the clock. That they just fail to find. Yep. All right, they're out of basics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 basics. I have 6. So Wasteland could control some of their action for a while at least. Shark Typhoon remains the best card to put on top of my deck. And they're at 6 life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pretty close here. Shark is almost lethal. Where did all their cards in their hand go? They're down to 4 cards. Didn't they have like 7 plus a Sylvan Library activation like 1 turn ago? What's going on over there? All right, they're Fate Sealing me with Jace now. I will continue producing the biggest possible shark I'm capable of. Hull Breacher would suck because I don't get to draw cards anymore. All right. Shark Typhoon versus Planeswalkers. The classic Legacy matchup. I'm actually going to attack Jace, because I think that's the only way they can win with any reasonable speed. I can always yield to that, I guess. Which is not really true with this deck because I do play Hull Breacher. But I will yield to that this time. All right, another opponent has gone to the permanent threshold where Magic Online restructures the interface. All right, they just fetched a 4. And they're brainstorming again. They just pivoted off Fate Sealing me. I wonder if they realized that like they can't beat the Hall of Heliod, or do they play like 1 Assassin's Trophy, or what's the plan here? Are they finding an Uro? I don't know. Okay, they are finding an Uro, confirmed. All right, yeah, so that's a good reason to fetch down to 4 because your life totals are rel. So Uro's back. I feel like I probably can cycle in their main phase without too much going awry, but I'm just worried about that. Like, this game is somehow still in a place where I can win it. All right, so attack Narset, actually. Like, they have so much card advantage that I don't think Jace really matters, but Narset turning off my cantrips and stuff does matter. Okay, Narset's dead. That's nice. Or wait, no, Narset's just under Uro. What the fuck, Magic Online? Go home. So I'm going to try the Plow first. If they counter it, I'll Supreme Verdict. Not that that's a great solution either, but I think I forgot to make a land drop out of the graveyard too. I'm out of fetchable lands, but just playing that doesn't hurt anything. Like if they Days Undoing, that's one less dead draw. Is Uro coming back? All right, Uro's back. I'm now a full minute up on the clock. We're starting to get ahead on the most important metric. Uh-oh, that's bad. I need a moat. Right, Force of Will, not really what I wanted. All right, I'm just gonna have to make a shark in combat. I wonder if I should be making 1/1 sharks or 3/3 sharks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm under pressure from Jace. My deck points and my life points are all in trouble right now. I think I just want to make the biggest possible shark. Five, 6, 7. I'll make a 7 shark and leave 1 mana up in case I draw Swords to Plowshares. I mean, Uro can just come back, but it's also the same as blocking like 2 Elks because it deals 6 damage. Yuck. Uro's just back again. All right. Now we're just on mono clock slurping. So I don't even return Shark Typhoon this time because I need Supreme Verdict to stay alive another turn. I have 2 more of them in the deck. That's not one of them. All right. Now we'll just see how much time they spend. All right, they're at 12.5 minutes. I'm at 14.5. All right. So I won game 1 effectively. Oh, this is goofy. Yeah, those Terminuses were really good. Like, Terminus has largely fallen out of favor in Legacy. Like, it's really bad against Oko. It's bad against Teferi. It's just hard to set up without Sensei's Top. Like, Legacy has just changed in a way that made Terminus rough, but it was very good. Like, it was specifically Terminus in these games that was good. All right, I want Seal of Cleansing. I saw Sylvan Library, Soul Guide Lantern. This should look pretty similar to the last round. Vanillion click all the Pyroblasts. I said something about Flusterstorm when I was sideboarding last game. I'm not sure if I actually think that's a good idea or not. So Brazen Borrower. Ooh, my opponent doing specifically what they're doing with the Days Undoing package and everything. I still think I have to cut Path to Exile, but I do need to leave in more swords than I normally would against a control deck. Do I need 2 moats? They are an Uro Oko deck, but they also have a combo in there. Maybe I'll just play 1 moat and the replenish, and that'll be my endgame plan. I don't need all 3 Supreme Verdict. Do I need 2 Supreme Verdicts? The courts are kind of reckless against this Hall Breacher Narset aggro deck. Like aggro, they have an aggro combo plan built into a Miracle Shell. It's pretty impressive, actually. Court of Grace. I feel like we're gonna be in a Pyroblast-centric game coming into game 2 here. All right, I'm gonna cut Supreme Verdict. This is my plan. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe I do want the Flusterstorm just to fight against the early days Undoing. Too late now. I don't know. That card is so, like, strong in the early game. It's so bad in the late game. All right, I have Island Ponder plus a Pyroblast and the mana to cast it. This is a keep. I even get to play my Volcanic Island to ponder because my opponent doesn't have Wasteland. All right, so I'm working up to this moat. I have a bunch of Pyroblast to buy time. Oh, that was a lot of time to think about your opening land drop when we're playing the kind of game we're playing. I'm not going to cast this Brainstorm basically at all. Like, my hand already has everything I want in it, and I know the top of my deck is a good card. I'm actually going to go after that this time. I didn't do it in a previous round, but knowing that I'm about to draw another one makes me kind of want to beat them on the setup part of the game. All right, so I'm going to Brainstorm in this end step. I can Pyroblast and Swords to Plowshare as a Hull Breacher if they go for one. So I'm pretty comfortable with this. All right, it just worked. I don't need the moat right away. I just want it in my deck for someday. And I'm going to get rid of, I guess the Swords to Plowshares is not immediately relevant to me. Hell yeah, replenish. All right, we got a plan. If they cantrip, I will jam Hull Breacher so hard. I'm going to leave up red to do it. That makes it pretty clear what I'm holding. Like, they could just Swords to Plowshares this, that's good, but if they have to counter it, I'm going to blow them out. Because they could Red Blast it. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I am in the business of getting aggressive here. If I'm hitting land drops and they're not. Alright. Let's see if that pays off. Bold strategy, Cotton. Alright, Crucible would be great if it resolves here. Alright, now I'm hitting land drops like a boss. So let's see if they have the Jace the Mind Sculptor to punish my aggressive Pyroblasting. That was a lot of green and white mana. Okay, it's Uro. I can probably make up some ground against an Uro. It does make all that early Pyroblasting seem pretty silly. Like, I basically ignored all my own advice and just went crazy. Court of Cunning. That's pretty good. They can't Ice Fang Quaddle this turn. If they Pyroblast, yeah, Force is fine. You got a deal on that. That's in the graveyard now for my replenish in the future. I can Brazen Borrower to bounce Uro if they bring him back. They don't even have the mana to bring him back. Right, I mean, Narset's pretty good, but it's not devastating to my current hand configuration. Oh, Ponder is the top card of my deck. I do want Ponder. So I'll draw that before I crack this fetch. If I could find a Wasteland right now, that'd actually be huge. Soul Guide Lantern. I will take that too. Oh, I can't Ponder. Oh shit. Right. Narset's in play. My bad. I guess I should just shuffle this then. Yeah, because the Soul Guide Lantern, I needed it right now, and it didn't show up right now. Yeah, I just fucked that up real hard. I could have even Brazen Borrowered first. Yeah, that's alright. I'll challenge Narset with Shark this turn. Brainstorm, okay. Do they have the Days Undoing? They have Teferi. Okay. Shark is still good against Teferi. Alright, yeah, that missing that Narset was pretty bad. I could have shuffled away the Ponders because I knew they were dead. Alright, 4/4 Shark. Big as possible. Can't cast instants anyway. Alright, so I'm gonna attack Narset because this Brainstorm in my hand is real bad. Alright, Plow, sure. So is it time to go for the Replenish? They have 3 cards over there. I know one of them's Brainstorm. Good a time as any. They have Teferi in play. Yep. Please resolve. Shit. Alright, that's out of here. So now I guess the plan is go back to eating up time on the clock. Oh, they're gonna Days Undoing me right now. Why would they bounce Crucible otherwise? I guess just to draw a card. Mystic Sanctuary is getting back. Force of Will, okay. They're going to get Uro, which regrows the Force of Will. I have Supreme Verdict for Uro. Can't force that. Yeah, that Ponder turn was just like a huge waste of time. And now I'm like a whole turn behind on development and action. Alright, I'll see if they want to spew their force on this. They shouldn't care about it, but yeah, just checking. That feels pretty bad. Remember that turn I pondered into Soul Guide Lantern to deal with this arrow? Just like we drew it up. So I basically have to set up some sort of bounce Narset, get action out of Brainstorm line here. But bouncing Narset sucks because then she gets 2 more activations. I know they have Force of Will in their hand. Just in time. Get out of here. Okay, now we're back to the clock game. Let's play a clock game. Teferi is nice because I get to just F6 aggressively. It sucks because even if I navigate to this like Brazen Borrower bounce Narset board state, their deck has Hull Breacher in it. So like I can do all that work, they just let it happen, and then surprise, sucker. Alright, land from the graveyard, because I can. Alright, can I get a break? Nope. Alright, this deck is extremely well suited to defeat my deck. This Ice Fang Coatl can probably get in there 16 times. Oh, Jace has joined the party. They have plenty of action here to get this game over with in 7.5 minutes. I just hope that they get greedy or lose track of time or something. Because that's all I got. Didn't attack. Worried about Shark Typhoon. I appreciate the respect. Ha! I got one too. Nice, Jace. Alright, Source of Plowshares. That gives me more time. I die a lot slower to Ice Fang Quaddle this way. Just aggro Jacing, though, is the right play. They bottomed a card. I can't. I'm trying to imagine what card they even care about bottoming. Oh, it might have been that one. That's a good one. It's about the only card left in my deck that has any text, any worthwhile text. I guess Hall of Heliod's Intervention is good too. It would force them to pop the relic. And then the next Shark Typhoon can run. Right, they left a card on top, so I'm going to fetch. I know that I don't have any lands left to find, but I'm not giving them that for free. If they Swords the Plowshares, they're going to have to give me 8 life. Force of Will, just what you want against the Teferi. Guess I should have attacked Jace, but they're going to block regardless. Doesn't really matter. I like that they are not even fucking around with tapping Relic. They're just saving it. Like, they recognize that the time matters that much. They bottomed a card with Jace. They're bottoming a lot of cards. It's like they're scared of a lot of stuff, which is weird, because I don't think there's that many cards that are relevant left in my deck. Certainly none like that. They've done a very good job blanking all of my stuff. Yuck. Alright, that's a real clock. So I'll give it like 1 or 2 more draw steps to find a Shark Typhoon, and then I'll pack it up. They bottomed another card. My cards are all so good. They keep sending them to the bottom. And I can't even like, well, now Hull Breacher makes it even worse, but with the Narset and Teferi in play, I already couldn't brainstorm just to see 1 new card, even if it is card disadvantage. Alright, they left the card on top, so I'll give it a shuffle. Shark Typhoon. Oh, Wasteland, thanks for showing up. This is one of the few things I can still do in this game, so I'm going to do it. Jace is on 13. Okay, yeah, I'm dead. Alright, opponent, their deck is very good against mine in general. I played that last game so bad. Let's be honest. In addition to the forgetting about Narset and casting Ponder, I also tried to beat up their early cantrips. Like, I say all the time in my videos, just like, this is not the fight, this is not the fight, they're going to have plenty of time to dig out of it, don't do it, don't get tempted. And I just did it anyway, I just fired it off twice, and then I died to a string of blue permanents when I fired off my Red Blast on early cantrips. So I did not play that matchup correctly, and I deserve to lose it. Like, if we just imagine that same game state where, like, I'm able to just pick off the Teferi, pick off the Jace, we're playing a totally different game. So I deserve to lose that one. that was a very long league, and brain's getting tired. So thanks for watching. This sideboard needs an answer to Clothis. I think I might have given combo decks a little bit too much space. Like this Vendilion Click was not great. So Council's Judgment. I'll just put a Council's Judgment in the sideboard. Let's start there. That could maybe Celestial Purge is better, but Council Judgment is applicable in more matchups. Purge is another card you could bring in against Dreadhorde Arcanist or Merit Lage versus Council's Judgment, which is just like worse where it's good, but better where it's bad. It's just one of those things. Celestial Purge also a reasonable choice there. The main deck felt pretty solid. Like I executed my plan a number of times. I think I like where that is. Like a Mystic Sanctuary is the one thing that I wish I had a couple times, but a bunch of other times I was like just desperate for the third land on turn 3, and if that were Mystic Sanctuary, they come into play tapped, that would not be worth it. So that's a balancing act. You could probably cut Path to Exile from Mystic Sanctuary if you want to. So that was a lot of Magic. We had some good games. I played some bad games, but hopefully, as usual, learn from my mistakes. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.